Okay, before we get underway today, a couple things we have to know. Each car has a fresh water jug. If you feel thirsty, come up and enjoy some water. It's very good. It's very cold, and I mixed it early this morning, so it's pretty fresh. So, and also while we're traveling today, we ask please keep your heads, hands, and feet in the windows at all time. It's pretty hard to get your feet out of the window, isn't it? No, okay. So as we travel today, we try to keep our aisles nice and clean and clear. If you have to, if you wish to move the seats back and forth, ask one of our car attendants. There's Fred right there in the middle. We have also Tom and Ian down the other end. So as we travel today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if you have to be up running around the train every once in a while, if you go between cars, please continue between the cars without stopping in the vestibule. And it gets very slippery right in this area.
I think this is a slow train. They're too big of a hurry.
So car 14, let me tell you a little bit about car 14. Car 14 is from 1923. If you were traveling the Bay Area somewhere, you may have been riding in this car. Pretty neat, huh? And some of them, actually, in the early days, we got in the 1920s, they had air conditioning. And the first air conditioning with a block of ice under the train that air passed through to go through to this. That was pretty cool, right? We have never had a shortage of heat. We have steam heat, so here we go. You'll hear the whistle from number 3. Head like that whistle. Pretty cool, huh? So we're going to be moving down the track a little bit.
On us to get on.
Oh, really?
We were the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have seatbelts on. Ready to go? Yeah. Nobody's looking for seatbelts, right? So, we're going to be going highway speed really fast. About 10 miles an hour. Okay, what we do, we always like the way. We're going to good cheer out there. This means good luck as we travel today. So, but they don't really know we're going to stop. So,
They'll come around and check our tickets.
So if you're on the north side of the train, first off you see a couple of our cars we just took out of storage. This is car 16. This is a Pullman car just like the 14 from 1923. Right next to that is another car that we brought down for storage. This car is really cool inside. It's got 4 dirty areas plus a full restaurant inside that car. That's pretty cool. It actually has air conditioning. What the air conditioning was block ice underneath. Now, if you look out your window on the north side, everybody, you'll see this is our roundhouse. This is the front door of the roundhouse. Roundhouses also come equipped with a turntable. Our turntable will break down the middle here. And before that, when number 3 first rolled in here in 1897, that turntable you see right there was turned by hand. But later on, as locomotives got bigger and heavier, they decided to turn it over, made it longer, added some air to it. That way we could turn it by, not by hand any longer, but we could turn it by, there's the dial, we open and close. Now, if you look on the south side of the train, you see where the sun just got blocked out. There's our water tower. Well, the one time when they had this railroad running, we had 10 water towers from this point. Oh yeah, speaking behind there, okay. But that water tower has a very distinct name, and it's very popular. A lot of people take a lot of pictures here. This is called the Petticoat Junction water tower that we have just passed. And that is the only water tower left in existence from here to Oakdale. And that remains behind. There's a family here that lives in Jamestown. You take notice on the north side train and say, okay, well, just a bunch of fences, right? So his idea was, he liked Petticoat Junction so much, so we decided, well, why not make a town out of my backyard? So as you see right now, it's pretty cool. You recognize Trucker General Store?
General store there, somebody
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It took about 35 years to make that. Down that rail, right? Now, our locomotive, you're going to hear number 3 in a couple minutes. You'll hear the bell start to ring. And you'll hear a series of whistles, which will be 2 long whistles and a short one and then a long one as we cross Signal Crossing. One of our traditions here at Railtown, anytime we make a crossing, we always wave our people on the road because of one reason, they don't have a ticket, we do. So that's what it's all about. So car 14, if you look at my end, you see a water cooler this end right over here. And if you feel free, we have fresh water here also in car 599. Right? So feel free anytime. So the reason why we stopped, that was a great ride. That was a pretty fast hour, wasn't it? So what we're going to do, this crossing, sometimes the crossing gates do not work. So what we have to do is have one of our crew members get off the train and fly the crossing so we can cross safely. This is Seco Crossing. It runs out of Jamestown. This is what they call a Facebook moment, or they call the old time the old Kodak moment here.
Guy there taking pictures with his phone of the train. The guy in that white truck.
Yeah, some of our events, especially Polar Express, you can have close to 100 and some cars lined up here just take a picture of our train going by. Number 3 is our most famous train, and a lot of guests from all over the world like to come here to Jamestown just to get a really good picture of number 3 in operation. So we got both sides of the track here. We can wave at all of these nice folks over here. They always wave. They always wave back. Now you look on the south side over here. Take those.
Can you see the locomotive?
All the horse crowds over here. This organization is very, very nice people. And what they did, they opened this operation called Horses and Warriors. And this organization helps our disabled veterans, first responders with horse therapy, raising horses, even competing with horses right here on the Jamestown yard here. They've been here about 3 or 40 years, and they have grown quite a bit. So a lot of guests go there, stop by and say, how you doing? And they always come back. We were there one day and they put us to work. So it's a pretty cool place. And they do help us out here in Jamestown. We used to have train robberies. They come down with their posse and help us out. So it's really, really cool. That's Horses and Warriors on that side over there. So I'm gonna step back in time a little bit, way back in time. Can you imagine your car? You have your car with you anywhere, right? Your car's gone. The roads are gone. The only thing that's left is nothing, just dirt roads. So you had to travel from Jamestown or Sonora all the way to Oakdale, which is about 45 miles. Everybody already
This used to be
tried
the way
that?
people travel.
Probably somebody
But
tried
there
that
were roads
today.
out here. This was the way people travel.
It would take you about 8 to 12 hours to complete that trip. That's pretty good, right? Especially you have to water horses every mile or so. It was like a hot summer day. So Thomas Bullock built and designed and built this railroad in 1897 to drop that time down to about 2 hours travel from Oakdale to the Jamestown area. Pretty cool. Now, if you look on the north side of the train, you see that beautiful green grass over here?
Yeah.
And that green grass comes from one thing. There is actually a creek bed underneath that grass. And if you take notice, there's a little pond over here. This pond, one time, when you come here, it's say you come here in January, that pond is full of water, and all that water comes from one place. It follows that stream down, and all from the mountain areas, and what brings along with it is a mineral called gold. And once you find that gold, man, you're hooked forever, and ever, and ever. So if you look down, once that pond fills with water, it starts overflowing, and right below the train right here, you see the path that it follows. And you may see some remnants of old miners from back in the 1840s out here. Can you imagine all day long with that pan, you find a little speck of gold, and you feel you're rich forever. But that was kind of short-lived. So around March or April, that pond starts drying up, and we started finding elsewhere to find that precious mineral. Right? One thing about our scenery, if you look out your window right now, you see the golden grass of California. The whole way over there, you see that little mountain way over there? That's called Quartz Junction. And that's where a lot of miners, they would leave here, they would end up over there. And they would dig into there, dig into the tunnels, and try to harvest that great gold in there on a certain time of the season. That is actually Quartz Junction over there. This picture you see out your window right now reminds me of a TV show back in the old days. That was called Little House on the Prairie. All right, anybody remember that? Yeah. Imagine with your horse going across there, actually going to Sonora. Takes you about an hour. Not too bad. But out there, a gentleman named Thomas Bullock, William Crocker, Prince Palatowski had this idea. They said, you know what I see out here? I see a potential. I built this railroad here all the way up to Jamestown, all the way to Sonora, all the way up to Tuolumne City, and even completed a railroad that was very difficult from Jamestown all the way to a town called Angelscamp. But he decided, well, I had a great idea. I'm going to build a railroad to a place that nobody would ever dream of, and that was called Yosemite. So, and that was designed and built, not all of it, about 7 miles of it, and it was actually a 30-inch wide track called narrow gauge, which never completed due to tragedy in 1906 in San Francisco's earthquake, and that money was never completed. So on our travels today, you may see something really odd way up here in Jamestown. If anybody's from the Bay Area, you may recognize this. That's when we go down the road. But anybody see anything that's unusual on our travels? So how before say, anybody see anything unusual? That is a cart car. That's a train car. And the tickets are available here. It's his idea to do one thing. He wants to build a bed and breakfast right out there at Airbnb. So you can imagine coming here in Jamestown, sitting in your own bar car, enjoying your actual coffee, watching the number 3 go by. Pretty cool, right? So walking on the railroad, when you're walking on the railroad, you're looking out both sides of the window. You may see some turkeys. You may see a big ravine right here. The reason why I point out this ravine, the railroad, Sierra actually built a wooden trestle here one time, but later years had backfilled it. Everybody see deer? You see a lot of deer around here. A lot of turkeys. And one thing you do see around here a lot, you may see a lot of livestock, because in the old days, a lot of ranchers were up in this area, and there's a lot of ranchers still living up in this area and raising cattle here. So it's pretty interesting area for grazing. They'll graze winter grazing, summer grazing. Anybody ever hear of Hearst Ranch? Hearst Ranch is right off of 108, and some of this property they own, and some of their cattle is on this property. You see on that side of the train. So as we pass every ravine behind us, there was a gentleman named Mickey Rooney back in 1939, I guess. He shot a movie right on this property here, not too far behind us, called Young Tom Edison. And he was down that ravine trying to tell the train it was time to stop due to a wall of water coming down the ravine.
I guess they look at the scenery.
Now, if you look on the south side of the train, you see that nice little wind vane over there. But if you look way over there, you see this. It actually looks like a mountain train showing up. We call it old flat top sitting way over there. You see the goats, right? All right, the goats are out here. This is actually Belleville Crossing. This is a very remote crossing. This is why we have no crossing gates here, so it's really remote. But if you look way out there in the when the sun sets, you see that mountain over here. This is called Table Mountain, by the way. We call it Old Flat Top. It was formed millions of years ago with a volcanic eruption in the mountains that followed the Stanislaus River all the way down here and then back to this whole area. The reason why I point this out, if you look way over there past these trees, you may see some old remnants of a mine over there. It was an open pit mine to your right, way over there. But the other thing is they also had a junction here that the train would run over there and pick up the ore and bring it back on the track here and take it to market. So that's called Table Mountain over there. And a lot of miners like that area because they thought that, well, since the volcanic flow followed the riverbed, there has to be possibly gold down close to the riverbed. So what we just crossed over was a very important thing. You may hear it a lot here in the Sonora area. It's called, you have just entered the Locomotive. Anybody hear that phrase before? The Locomotive. We have just crossed over. It's about a gold vein, very deep behind us, underneath our train right about now, that runs about 120 miles long from Oakhurst, California, all the way to Nevada City. So I was wondering why I take notice to the caboose over there on the side. Along with, it started out with HO train set, now they're full guard train set over there on that south side of the train. this
You'll
for
get
you.
it back to us one more
What is the state flower, California? Anybody know? Probably. Okay, that's an easy one, right? Now we're going to go really hard. What's the state rock of California? Asbestos is pretty close, but it's not right. But they did harvest asbestos out of here at one time. But it's green in color, and it's found just about in any county in California. And it's you'll see it on both sides of the ravine we're in. This is called Rogers Cut, by the way. The bad guys love this because they can jump on the train and go by. But if you take notice, you may see the asbestos in there, but the green rock is called serpentine. All right, there we go. Okay, all right. But the gentleman brought up a good point. Asbestos were found here also, and they thought asbestos was probably going to be a savior. We used it for brake pads, insulation. We found out it became very unhealthy. So we actually outlawed asbestos, and it's still found in this area. But that's a lot of the. What about the state mineral of California? That'd be gold, right? That brings me to our next little story. If you look down below us here, you see Hirsch Ranch right over there, and then 108 right over there. But down below, in August, that little, see that little creek down there running? First off, I'm going to take you back, all the way back to 1848. And you worked with me for a whole year. How much do you think you make in 1 year? Anybody know? Well, I got a little bit more than that. How about a year's time to shop was about $400? So that brings me to my good story. This gentleman named Ben shows up here in California. So he's hanging around here and he got his pan, he wants to become rich. So he finds this creek down the road here. So he sticks his pan in there and starts panning the gold. Guess what he finds? Gold. A lot of gold. And you know how hard a secret that is to keep? So we go to town, Brian, look at I found. And I realized his buddy said, where'd you find that?
Jamestown is an old gold mining town.
Down the street. So his buddies were down there also. So they were so happy with Mr. Ben, they named it after him. And that's what we call today Woods Creek here in the Jamestown area. It was the first place they found gold in Tuolumne County of the creek of its size. So that's Woods Creek today.
That might be the road we take on.
The other question is, there's still gold in there. Who knows? The problem is, his property is landlocked. And every once in a while, you may see some sluice boxes in the water. And there's actually some sluice boxes in the water right now. So, in my guess, probably yes. And about 6 years ago, a gentleman was prospecting in the Woods Creek above Jamestown. And he uncovered a rock, and what he found was a gold specimen about $87,000 worth. It looked like a small baseball. Yeah, and that was the first time I ever seen gold in small form. But up there, way above we passed over here,
Want to get a picture of you on the train?
In 1990s, there was a gold specimen found up there, one of the largest gold specimens found, which is called crystalline gold. That weighed about 40 pounds. They did not melt that down. What they did, they put on display iron and wire in Berkeley, California. So it's pretty cool to go check it out. But around in the early 1990s, the price was still up. So it got more expensive.
Down by Sacramento, It's going to be a pretty big place.
Big problem. So they ended up stopping landing in the region. And now you take notice out your window and see how the creeks drop off. This is a very gorgeous picture down here. And early spring, look up. So early spring, what happens? All the leaves fall coming down this way. And pretty long. Every once in a while, I'll see some miners down here. Listen around. You actually see the road coming down the hill, and you actually see the sluice box sitting on each side. So the sluice box is one thing. Water runs over it, and any gold comes down the creek will fall into the rivers of the sluice box. You come back a couple days later, and magically get ready to run out. It's pretty cool. So this is Woods Creek. We're also on a trip today. Look out both sides of the wind in a couple minutes. Woods Creek's going to disappear. And what's going to happen? Sierra built one more trestle on this railroad, which was one of the longest trestles on this railroad, which will be crossing over in a couple minutes or so. It's still about 55 feet in height from the creek bed all the way to the top of the rail. everything we made up today is all backfilled. And some of our guests still today actually made seats on the bridges. And the reason why they backfilled this trestle was because of the high maintenance issues on these trestles this far out. As railroad traffic has become very, very heavy in this area, the trestles cannot handle the weight much longer. On both sides of the train right now, car 14 is now crossed over, and car 599 will follow right behind it. So you may see some of the old timbers left over from that area. So it's much cheaper for them to backfill this than people are repairing the wooden trestle. There is a wooden trestle still on the Sierra, way up above Sonora. We call it Wally Road where it breaks off. There is a wooden trestle up there. Now, north side of the train, you may see this is a quarry here, which he does here. They mine for mostly
They're probably mining for something, maybe
under the train, all the train tracks, under either car or road beds. This is what this is called Hacker's Quarry here. Next stop, Rockville. Rockville, next up. Next stop is Rockville. No one ever gets off of this town. Rockville, next up. Population of Rockville is now population 0. It always will be 0. So, this is Rockville. We're going to hold up here in Rockville for a couple minutes or so. Everybody on the train's in for a treat today. It's been a long time since we've been able to do this. Our locomotive number 3 from 1891 is laying out the other end, which we never got a real good look at. But what we're looking at, what was going to happen, if you look out your, say, your south side of the train, or excuse me, north side of the train, you see this track on the side of the train. This is what we call our passing track. But what's cool, if you look way behind the train, you see this little white car show up out of nowhere.
He came in with a walker.
This is called our fire patrol. And this is a group of personnel that due to California wildfires and dangers, they follow the train just in case of any issues. And that's our fire patrol behind us. We call maintenance away. They are a lot of fun to ride, let me tell you. They are great. If you like 4-speed transmissions and going really fast, doing about 10, that's pretty fast, right? So what's going to happen, that's our fire patrol or maintenance away coming by. They're going to come right by the train. We always like to give them a little holler and scream as they go by. Because it is a tough job, let me tell you. It really is.
There's another track and there's the other car's going to come.
So once they pass us by, then we're really going to get some action going. Number 3 is going to back away from the caboose from 1922, way back there to cabooses. That's from Little House on the Prairie. And it's going to do a run-by right next to our train. This is where we have our cameras out, everybody hollering, screaming, and yelling out and waving at them as they go by.
Take the locomotive off that end. It's going to drive by, focus on that end, and take us back. Yeah.
Well, Fire Patrol, I think we have Laura on board, and we also have Steve on board.
Yeah.
Steve.
It's going to come.
Sean's on board today. Here we call this the Cadillac of Maintenance Away. Today's world, if you ever see Maintenance Away, they have more luxury, they have heat. And they also have air conditioning, but not that today. So while waiting, we're going to run around. And years ago, we used to tell everybody to get off the train, run around the train, get back on. We don't do that no more. So what we're going to do is wait for the train to do it all. So while we're waiting for the train to come by, I get a lot of questions. Right, where was Back to the Future filmed? And some of the footage of Back to the Future was filmed right where you're sitting today. And some of the shots were done in Back to the Future 3 right here. Little House on the Prairie was around this area also. We take back all the way back to 1919, which a movie was called The Red Glove, and it was a silent movie. If anybody ever seen a silent movie, it's pretty wild. It's really cool to see. It was about 18 minutes long. And it was about a young person who decided to go from the East Coast to the West Coast because he wanted to see what the Wild Wild West was all about. And gets out here and finds out the train rider's on, gets robbed.
This train and this track was used
That's pretty cool, right? That's what it was all about back in the day. A lot of train robberies back. So then we go into like the 1920s, 1930s. We get into like Vinyl Chicken by W.C. Fields, and Mae West was in that one also. So between the TV shows, movies, and commercials shot on this property all around it, all the way from Oakdale, all the way up to Jamestown through Sonora, with over 200 movies and TV shows shot around this area throughout time. Yeah, one of my favorite movies was Apple Company Dragon Rides Again. Has anybody ever seen that with Don Knotts? That was pretty cool. That was then we have all kinds of, like the 18 was another one. That was a TV show back in the day. And the 18 came here to resolve an issue with cattle rustlers here in the area, using number 3 also. So a little history about number 3. Number 3 came here in 1890. Actually, it was built in 1891. And it was built in Patterson, New Jersey, at the Rogers Locomotive Works, out of way on the East Coast. And then it came all the way out to Arizona, which is called the Prescott Line. And Thomas Gordon owned it out at that point. So, okay. So number 3 is coming alongside of us. Number 3 is a 460 with 55-inch drivers, weighing in about 60 tons, fully steam, where it runs on recycled motor oil and one-time big bird call.
They're going to hook it on the other end and take us back.
So it's hard to believe in Back to the Future 3 at 88 miles an hour, right? So that's pretty fast, right? Back to the Future?
Yeah, we go back the other direction.
So what's going to happen? You're more than welcome to go to the other end of the train. Watch them hook up number 3. So now on the way back, you're going to get a great view of number 3 as we travel back. We call Back to the Future.
We have the Santa Fe, but I think during Christmas they might try to
The fuel for number 3 right now is we burn recycled motor oil. So every time we go to the kitchen, we go to places like so, we take the motor oil and we recycle it. And we run it through filters and we burn it in there. But the early days, after they converted from coal, when number 3 came out here in 1897, they burned coal. Later on, they burned what they called bunker oil. So that was a little heavier than motor oil. So later on, to get more efficient and actually more economy was, and they would burn recycled motor oil, and it's actually cheaper. So if you want to be a steam engineer, the first thing you want to do is show up here. It's going to take you about 4 hours or so to steam this thing up after you light it. There's no key. The only way to light it is use a rag, and you light the rag on fire, throw it inside the firebox, and away we go. So, and that takes about 4 hours. So as an engine crew or steam, you have a fireman, you have a fireman, an engineer, and also a hostler. Hostler comes in and takes care of all the maintenance, while the fireman comes in, lights the fire, and the engineer comes in and operates. So in today's world, we use diesel electric, which is much easier. We can actually put 4, 5, 6 engines together, control from one. But on steam trains, for each engine you put in series, you had to have a full crew.
Oh, the one on the side.
So if you're up on your feet, be very, very careful. When they back in, it may be a little bit of movement of the train.
So when we get back, that old locomotive will be on this end. We'll walk right by it, and on the way back, we can take some
And
pictures.
this year was the first year number 3 came back. It wasn't with us for 40 years. Due to maintenance. It takes that long to do the maintenance on these trains. So,
Yeah, of the steam train, yeah.
Yeah.
And we can look at it. They just saw the locomotive go by. They just moved it from this end to that. There's another track on the other side. So they moved it over to that track and moved it down. And now they're going to pull us the other direction.
So the car here today, $5.99, the open car. These were not really open cars. This was actually a passenger car at one time, and they converted it in 1940. This was built in 1914, by the way. So the other one,
Because then they would have to back up the whole. This is the only track. They can't turn the whole train around. So they have to
so
move
this
the
car,
engine.
and there's no one in the series, which is $5.99. We have $5.97, which is our series. The only difference is this one here has a heated section in the middle, where the other one actually has a bar in the middle. And that has the world record for hot chocolate made. Car Car 14, 1923. And we have cars 14, 15, 12, and 16, all built the same year. Came here in 1976, part of Sierra's fleet in this area.
Yeah, we'll give you a little preview, we'll let you know.
I have to make a reservation. I don't know.
So if you wanted a job back in the old days before they had air brakes, so if your brakeman's job, you would actually, your responsibility is to jump from car to car and turn the hand wheel, slow the cars down or speed them up. In today's world, as Winston Hess came in, they designed the air brakes, which is controlled from the cab of the train, which controls all the brakes in the cars. And some cars do have what they call retainers, which holds the car in place in and emergency brakes. But eliminating the job of the brakeman's job quite a bit in that point in time. The brakeman's job in the early days was very, very hazardous and very dangerous.
We just go the other direction.
Okay, this is the coolest part of the trip. On the way back, we have what they call the sights and sounds of the railroad. The reason why, we got to climb a grade that's very steep and very windy. So, have a listen on the way back to Jamestown and listen to the engines going up the hill. They almost sound like a little engine that travels up the hill. So it's pretty cool. Number 3 weighs about 60 tons, and we call her lightweight. But these cars here between the two, well, this one's about 90 tons, the one behind it's another 90 tons, and she's going to 60 tons. So it takes a lot to pull this up the hill. So it's a really cool listen on the way back to Jamestown. So enjoy the ride back to Jamestown. We'll see you back in Jamestown in a couple of minutes or so. So again, especially when you get along, you can go up the hill. It's a very, very cool sound as we travel.
I can show you.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Now you're going forward again.
Now we're going forward again, yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Walt.
What?
Walt.
What?
Walt.
What?
Walt.
Oh, Walt.
Yeah. Or Walter. Yeah.
What are they going to do with the train?
The train's at the other end now.
Why? What did they change,
Oh, the reason for that. That's a good reason.
what did they change that train for?
That's a great question. I love that question.
No, they could back it up, but then they couldn't see where they were going. It'd be like driving in reverse.
I got a great question. They said, why did the train back up down the hill? And now we're leading up the hill. We use the brakes in the cars as we travel down the hill with the engine backing down. It helps with the brakes on the engine. Well, the way back up, we got a really steep hill. So what we need to do, we need all the power we could possibly get up, go up that hill. On the way down, we need the brakes of the cars that help the engine along. Because the drive wheels of an engine have a rim and a tire. So it's a possibility you get those tires a little hot, you can actually start to spin inside of them. Pretty cool, huh? So have a listen up the hill. This is pretty cool. We're going to be doing a rocket speed at 10 miles an hour.
Wheels, big turning wheels have like a rubber lining. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a frame, there's actually a rim, and then the tires are pressed on.
Yeah.
So if the brake gets so hot, it would actually spin it out. I seen a video of the whole tire just popping off.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Thank you very much.
That's the train, that's the bias. Yeah, that's too far. We're going to go by that creek. It's going to be down here on the right. That's what they call the Wood Street or whatever it is.
No, I don't know. I don't really know. Very concerned Oh, you should Every time I go there, where you guys from today?
Sacramento area. Oak Grove.
Oak Grove.
Yeah. You know,
Originally, I'm from Philadelphia.
oh wow.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I'm out here for work. And I'll be leaving back to Pennsylvania after Christmas.
Yeah, this is the last weekend for the
This is
tree
the last
rides
weekend for the regular.
until almost like March.
First week in April. But we have our Polish restaurant.
Yeah, yes. Strangely, because we live up in the Sacramento area, that have the big railroad museum in Old Sacramento. They have train rides, but they don't have a lift.
That's right.
To get people on, so he can't climb up.
Now, the reason for that is because of the rule of the train. We got lucky we got that one. And, so they're actually building an ADA car up there.
Yeah, once they get that
almost done.
yeah, we'll do that ride.
Yeah.
But for now, yeah. We're glad we could come down here.
They sell them in the store, but I don't know how to get them because we don't even have any in the store right now.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you how to get one. My name's Ian. Yep. Nice to meet you, sir.
Harley, like the motorcycle. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, try. Yeah. We live up in the Sacramento area, so we could probably go to the Railroad Museum. I bet they probably have things like that.
Oh, I bet you they do. Yeah.
They have everything. Well, they have the train running, but they don't have a lift. You have to be able to climb up on the car.
That's kind of surprising.
It is kind of, it surprised me too. That's what brought us down here, because we said, well, we want to go over. And honestly, the trip up there isn't too scenic anyway, it just runs along the rails. But you have your set up.
And you never know what I ride the 3 here.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I called a couple weeks ago, and the lady on the phone told me what weekends
Yeah, we advertise it on the website as well, so we try to do every week, you know, so we shoot to the video, especially because Poland's really working here every single day, or every single week. So, yeah, it's going to be busy, but it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Make sure everybody gets their tickets back.
Perfect. All right, thanks.
Nobody has to get a punch back.
These are actually changed size.
Over near the window.
They look at a lot of different designs, but this is a common one. So you know what, I'll go ahead and demonstrate. I'm just going to adjust this. So you look at here, you'll see that this just when it gets to how far it is.
You'll see that big water tower for the big junction.
I believe
It's probably pretty far ways up here.
I'm not sure if it's original or not.
I like the idea.
Yeah, it's a really clever idea.
I don't know if I can get a good picture of it. It's so close to it. I'll try.
We don't know her.
You know, much like today when you were in airport, a lot Come on, here. I'm gonna put this back on. Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, great. We must be new today.
Yeah, there you go. $23.
Okay, well, wait.
The trip is $23. The ticket.
Oh, that
Gotta pay every time. That's why they punch you. Say, once the ticket's punched, they know you've already ridden the train.
Or you know, the guy did art, or he tried to draw a picture with
Yeah. Sometimes these old railroads, if they have something they don't use, they'll sell it real cheap or just give it away. People want to buy it. To have something in their backyard for their friends, I don't know. I think there's a house up here on the right somewhere that has a caboose in their yard. Yeah, when they come up here to do the road crossing again, they'll have to run this here.
Holy smoke. There's this one that was covering. Imagine looking 5 miles.
Could also be able to see your full name card was give permission to fill it out. It's the right move. I just look at that. Yeah, they must have.
There's two of them that did that too. Well, that was done in the 1920s. A little different now back in those days. No, it would be. This area was back in 1920s. It was pretty rough. There was not a lot out here. They had a lot of accidents with trains on the bridges and stuff, especially that one.
But it makes sense. But on the way back,
There's a tunnel underneath. Yeah, that tunnel's so big that they livestock that too. And there's another one, right where the market guard is another one. That tunnel's big. You could actually drive a golf cart.
No, we're on the same track we came down on.
Yeah, that's what they designed it that way so the livestock
Tracks.
could go under
Past
and
us
over.
to hook on to
They
this.
still go over.
We're on
I
the same
saw
track we
you
were
know how
on.
steep that grade is on the side. I saw deer up there a couple of times. They were hopping up that freaking hill, and the top was a fence, and they would just launch that fence. Crazy.
I also feel like
We watch them through here a lot. They fly through here, and they hop the fences without even thinking.
That explains the 1920s.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they had a grant at that time because of the railroad industry in this area was growing pretty fast at that time. And so it got to the point where maintenance got very hard. And more the trains were building, they decided that got really heavy. I mean, this is 90 tons, and they're concrete floors. This floor's trains was thick. I drove it and stabilized. The old wooden cars, they rock a lot. And so they put the concrete floors down to keep the spring stable. I drove through it already. Yeah. The concrete's pretty old. I mean, I started rolling through it. It's really soft. So I tried to put an anchor in it, man. It would not break a ticket anchor. one of the cars 15, I put a bar in there. I built a bar for it. Then anchored the floor. I had to draw underneath that and build a plate.
They have that gift shop in there. I know they have mats or something.
Hope you enjoyed the ride. This ride's always cool. What a beautiful day to take a train ride. The weather's just about perfect for today. We'll be heading back to Jamestown just a couple seconds or so. Thanks everybody do me a great big favor. When we do stop the train, please remain seated just for a couple seconds or so while we uncouple the locomotive, and then we'll give it all clear to deboard. When you deboard our train, be very careful going down the steps, please. Watch out for the handrail, and the steps will be very slippery, and also going through the cars, be very careful traveling today. So if you have not taken the roundhouse tour, we have a roundhouse tour departing right from the waiting room right next to the store at the station as we deboard today. So it's a really cool thing. You're going to check out the roundhouse. There's a lot of history in the roundhouse through the movie industry and some of the movie props and stuff during that era. So that will be a tour to the roundhouse leaving from the waiting room right after dock here at the station. We do have hot dogs on the platform, along with water, popcorn, and something on the platform. So if you're not doing much tonight, we do have Tales of the Roundhouse. We have a 6:30 back to the station roundhouse, and also a 7:30 Tales of the Roundhouse. Tonight is our last night for Tales of the Roundhouse in the Jamestown area. It's very, very cool. It's about the history of the railroad and some of the superstitions of the railroad, and it's really, really neat to check it out in our roundhouse. Again, thank you very much for joining us today. California State Parks, thank you very much. California State Railroad Museum Foundation, thank you for joining us today. And come back and see us, have a safe journey from wherever you may go today. And also, while we come to the station, we always like to wave away in your station as we come in and bring us good luck here at the Jamestown Yard. Again, don't forget, we have Hall Express right here in Jamestown, starting on the 28th of November, all the way to the 21st of December. Let's give a wave at the platform, everybody. Everybody have a good time. Let's get it, great. Enjoy the rest of your day. Give us a couple minutes, uncouple locomotive. And again, do not forget about that roundhouse store, leave it on the waiting room, and there's delicious hot dogs on the platform before we head that direction. While the restrooms are in on the platform.
Welcome back.